Hey everyone, welcome to Quick Projects once again, the podcast where we dig deep into history's most fascinating stories, the ones that shook the world, changed industries, and left us with lessons we can't afford to forget. Today, we're talking about the Boeing 737 MAX crisis. This is a story of innovation gone wrong, corporate oversight, and a tragedy that claimed hundreds of lives. Buckle up because this one's going to be a turbulent ride. Let's dive in.
Section of its fuselage mid-flight.
An FAA panel is blasting the aircraft company.
Lion Air flight JT610 went missing from radar.
And then the second plane crashed.
Ethiopia crashed minutes after taking off.
To understand what went wrong, we first need to know where it all began. Boeing has been a giant in the aviation industry for decades. In fact, their 737 series is one of the best selling aircraft models in history. By 2011, Boeing faced intense competition from Airbus, especially after Airbus launched its fuel efficient A320neo. Boeing knew it needed something big to stay in the game, but instead of designing a new aircraft from scratch, it decided to modify the existing 737 design. This led to the creation of 737 MAX, a plane with updated engines and improved fuel efficiency. Sounds like a smart move, right? Well, here's where the things get problematic. The new engines were larger and heavier, which changed how the plane would handle its mid flight. To compensate for this, Boeing introduced a system known as MCAS for Maneuvering Characteristics Augmentation System. MCAS was designed to prevent the plane from stalling by automatically pushing the nose down if it detected that the angle of the aircraft was too steep. But here's the catch. Pilots weren't properly trained on how to handle MCAS malfunctions, and worse, they didn't even know the system existed in the first place. In October 2018, Lion Air Flight 610 took off from Jakarta, Indonesia. Shortly after the takeoff, the plane's MCAS system malfunctioned, incorrectly detecting a steep angle and forcing the nose down repeatedly. The pilots fought to regain the control, but tragically, the plane crashed into the sea, killing all 189 people on board. At first, it seemed like a freak accident, but just a few months later, in March 2019, Ethiopian Airlines Flight 302 experienced the same problem. Again, the MCAS system forced the plane into a fatal dive, killing 157 passengers and crew members. After the second crash, aviation authorities around the world had no choice but to take action. Within days, the entire Boeing 737 MAX fleet was grounded globally. This wasn't just a PR disaster, it was a financial and operational catastrophe for Boeing, airlines, and passengers. The Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, and other regulatory bodies launched investigation. It soon became clear that Boeing had rushed the development of the 737 MAX to compete with Airbus. Even worse, they downplayed the significance of MCAS to regulators and skipped the crucial pilot training requirements to save time and money. What's shocking is that internal emails later revealed Boeing employees joking about the faulty design and how they had managed to fool the regulators. One email even read, "Would you put your family on a Max simulator trained aircraft? I wouldn't." The fallout from the crisis was immense. Boeing's reputation took a massive hit, and the financial losses were staggering. The company had to halt its production of 737 MAX, pay billions in settlements, and face lawsuits from victim families. In 2020, after rigorous testing and software updates, the FAA cleared the 737 MAX to fly again, but not without controversies. Many questioned whether Boeing had truly learned its lesson or simply patched up the problem to get back into the skies. Even today, the impact of the crisis is felt on the victims as well as to the aviation industry. Regulators have become more cautious and airlines are more wary of relying solely on the manufacturer claims. So, what can we learn from the Boeing 737 MAX crisis? For starters, it's a cautionary tale about corporate greed and the dangers of cutting corners. In the race to beat Airbus, Boeing made decisions that prioritized profit over passenger safety. It also highlights the importance of transparency and proper regulation. Aviation is one of the safest modes of transportation precisely because of strict regulations. But when companies find ways to game the system, lives are put at risk. The Boeing 737 MAX crisis wasn't just about a faulty system. It was about trust, accountability, and the human cost of corporate decisions. While the plane is back in the air, today the story of those two tragic crashes remain a stark reminder of what happens when safety takes a backseat in the business. What's your take on the Boeing 737 MAX crisis? Should companies face harsher penalties for putting profits over people? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Share this episode with your friends and let's keep the conversation going. Thanks for listening to Quick Projects. Don't forget to hit that like button and stay tuned for more such incredible stories. Until next time, take care and stay curious.